Welcome to The Single Mom Life, brought to you by the Single Mom Network. We are your hosts. My name is Jill Douglas.
I'm TJ Alvarado.
And I am Stephanie Tiller.
The Single Mom Network is an organization developed to assist in connecting single moms to the resources they need to have successful careers and businesses while overcoming the challenges we face in daily life as a single parent. Our goal is to connect moms worldwide to the resources they can utilize in going beyond the challenges that we face. So what are we talking about today?
Ooh, I know, right? That's a good one. So, as you guys know, if you look on billboards or if you're online, and I know most of us are, you see women are dominating. Like, women are running things. We are trying to rule the world. And I mean that literally all the way up to the presidency. We are trying to run everything we can touch on today. Well, no, every day, period. So I did say period, didn't I? I said I was never going to say period. I said it. So today's topic, we're going to talk about why a single mom would be the perfect candidate to run for office.
Booyah.
Yes.
What y'all think about that? Like,
come on.
You know, okay, you guys want to start with, I got mixed feelings about it, but I know that we are absolutely capable because there's so much that we manage and have to deal with just as parents and as single moms.
Right.
But I'm not going to discount the male counterparts because I'm a firm believer in that I like a man to lead, but that does not mean that the woman follows behind. We came from the side, that's my belief, so we walk together, we complement each other, so he can do it, we can do it, we are given the same equipment.
nice.
Up here.
How you feel about it, Jill?
Well, I just think women, first of all, women offer such a broad perspective, right? The gray areas where sometimes men tend to have black and white, but also, like, as a single parent, we deal with things that a lot of people don't really deal with, right? And our culture, our society, there are so many things that I think, come about because of the political arena or in the political arena. And to have a single mom be there, I think that would create a lot of shifts in so many aspects of our culture.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of on-the-spot crisis training. All of a
And
sudden, something that, boom, what do you do?
Right.
Yeah.
As the woman.
As a woman.
And so that is my perspective with it. It's like behind every man, there's a great woman.
Yes.
Why not the great woman? Just go ahead and do the dang thing. So that's how I feel about it. I feel like, it's not that we would like to change positions and, it's a power struggle with the men. If anything, we're competing with people we don't even know we're competing against because that's not where our heart is as parents. So for me, I feel like a single mom running for office or as a candidate is the same as winning a presidential election, but you have to have a family.
Yes. Yes.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Right. Well, like in a family, we want there to be the two parents working together. Is that not?
Right.
And when we're tasked with being that single parent managing that family, then why can't we be that single, strong woman in that political office, helping to manage the community and resources and bringing the things that's needed? Because we have not a whole different view, but I think our view is more enhanced because we're bringing the life and managing the life. And there's just a lot of things, quite frankly, you don't learn in the textbooks, right? That come from here.
But I want to hear too, because the first thing that occurs to me is how in the world do you do that?
Oh,
so I'm so
there's not enough hours in a day for that. So
get it done.
We do. And right now, listen, today we are bringing someone very, very special to you guys today. She came all the way from Alabama to come and sit down, talk to us, and educate us on on everything, because I am one to admit I have not a lot of knowledge when it comes to being a candidate, what it takes to be a candidate, and why would you even want to be a candidate, in the political arena with so much going on. So we have today Miss Marche Johnson with the Marche On The Move .com is the actual website for it. Welcome back to the Single Moms Network. As promised, we always going to bring you the hottest topics, realistic topics, and those topics that you just can't stay away from right here. So we are bringing back Miss Marche Johnson, the candidate running for office right now. How exciting is that?
Yeah, thank you. It's very exciting.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we need some of those little knocker things to go back and forth.
Right.
Okay, so But I want you to tell us a little bit about you, of course, and tell us all of that. But what made you want to run for candidacy? Like, what made you want to run?
All right. So this is gonna be a real good, kind of long story. Not too long though. I was getting out of the Army. This was 2016. Then when I got out, my son went with his father because he was turning 11, getting ready to get into that boyhood, the tween stage. And so me and his dad both are Army vets. Okay. And so I went to take my son from El Paso to Killeen, Texas. And once we got there, I also was a caretaker for my grandmother. Okay. And my grandmother was ill. We found out that she had stage 4 cancer. And so as taking care of him and taking care of her became a challenge. And so she became a child for the moment, and Dad took over. And that was my first time letting Dad take over. So there was an emotional strain. But it also opened me up to a lot of opportunities to see what was going on around me. And now I'm not active duty, so I don't have to deal with the struggles of being a NCO or a sergeant and soldiering. Now I can be a mom, just a person, you know, just a normal civilian and live day-to-day life. And I was in San Antonio, and the hurricane was coming. And remember when the hurricane hit Houston? So we had a scare and thought it was coming to San Antonio. And I was like, oh, I'm out of here. So we packed up and we came back to Alabama. We went back to Alabama, where home is. I grew up there, graduated there. Grandma's home is there. We actually packed her up to take her with me. So she was like, we need to go back home. So we went back home. And as we were home, my hands were kind of like open to do anything. And I could have got a full-time job or anything because son was with Dad. But what I decided to do was start volunteering in the community. And I went from doing Meals on Wheels, which we just went out on lunch hours, and we went and we delivered hot meals to senior citizens. And what I saw was heartbreaking. I saw elders in the homes weren't clean. I saw elders that did not need to be at home alone. I saw kids that weren't in school. And I was like, why, and I started asking, why aren't you at school today? They're like, well, mom has to work and my sister's sick and I have to stay with grandma. So I'm taking care of grandma and my sister while mom's at work. So I have to miss this week. That's a whole week out. And normally, after 5 days, the kids get the unexcused absences and they can't make up the schoolwork. So now I'm looking at, this is an issue. And Montgomery, unfortunately, is under, the state has taken over our education system, the public schools. And you kind of want to know what's happening and why. Well, once you start getting into the homes and figuring out these are issues that's really happening, and I had no idea that was happening. Because I'm just focused on what's going on in my world. But once you get out and start seeing these are things that's really happening, kids not going to school, elders not being seen after, people not eating. I met a family whose water was off for 2 years. In 2019. How is that even possible?
Wow.
And how can you live like that, right? Now I know why kids are going to school dirty.
Right.
Smelly, hair not
and angry.
Yeah, hungry. So now guess what? Their grades are dropping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what can I do? And I found this group called Emerge. And actually, our #1 presidential candidate, Kamala Harris, is actually a Emerge grad. And I went through the training. And I met other women that were just like me, just looking for their place in the world. But these women were stay-at-home moms. They were single parents. And some of them were just super active in the community and just wives, but wanted to get out of the house and do something because, when Obama ran and Obama got the presidency, it gave a lot of people hope. And I was inspired by those women, sitting in the room with women that thought like me, and I had no idea politics was where I was going. But after talking to them and listening to everything, I'm like, what's coming up in my community? What can I do? And how can I directly benefit? And I said, oh my God, city council race is coming up.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
And where am I? In the community. Directly where I come from, the community that raised me, because unfortunately my mom passed when I was 14.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. This community really just huddled around me and was this village that we always talk about. It takes a village to raise a child. And I know I wouldn't be where I am without that village. And they're still there, the ones that are still living and active, and they're still in my life helping with my son. So it's like, I need to be part of the village for these kids coming up.
Right.
These kids that need help.
This new generation.
The new generation.
Yes.
And when in my particular district, the city councilman has been there for 16 years. And he's a little bit out of touch, you know, not to bash him for any reason, because I voted for him when it was time. I was excited to turn 18 and vote for him. So, you know, I appreciate everything that their generation did to pave the way for us. But now it's like, I'm a millennial and
Pass the torch.
And I'm here and I'm ready to accept the torch.
Wow.
Oh my
That's
God.
amazing. What a story.
Whew. I'm speechless because
That's phenomenal work.
It's harder to stand up in front of a group of people that know you than it is to stand up in front of a group of strangers. I can talk in front of a group of strangers and be completely fine, but you ask me to stand up in front of my village, I'm just like, oh, I don't know what to say. So, you know, I commend you for that completely. And you didn't just jump to say, I want to run the next homeless shelter. You said, I'm going for councilman. That's a huge leap, Okay, so listen, TJ,
Okay.
you just take it away. I don't have any
Let's
words.
expound on that, because part of my question is, you know, looking over your bio, going to the website and seeing all your accolades, all the achievements you've had while you were in the military, and you also completed, your bachelor's degree, and just numerous things about you. So impressive. As a single mom, you did say it takes a village to raise a child, and I'm so grateful for you, because now you want to pour that back into the same community, right, that supported you. Is there any person in particular, any significant event that you could share that for these moms who are watching, maybe it's an opportunity in front of them, but they fail to recognize that? I believe there's a lot of women that's watching and they don't recognize that they are leaders within themselves, but because they're always trying to, give their help for, what you're doing is saying, how can I come alongside with? And then that expands the reach. So again, my question, if you can find my question in there, is for that single mom that's looking at you and is inspired, but there's that little voice that like, I don't know if you could really do that. I'm not a leader. What would you say to her? Because you have the support, and I think women, we just don't tend to reach out for support because we're always giving.
Right.
But look at you. You accepted the support, and now you're giving
You have
back
overachieved
100-fold.
so much.
Yeah.
And it's people that haven't achieved as much. Like, where does your tribe come from with, even with your achievements? You're still a single mom.
Yeah.
And there's still some single moms out there
So-
that's willing to walk that same path. That's
Yeah.
what she's asking.
Yeah. So help them. What's a stepping stone?
Yeah.
I would say follow your heart. I think after losing my mom, I really had to find my own voice. I had my grandmother, and that was it. My grandmother and my aunt, who both passed away, and they prepared me for what was coming next. And I would say sometimes we aren't all blessed with that, because I have siblings that didn't receive that, but they have someone else speaking for them. And it's always somebody in your corner. So follow your heart, be passionate about it, and just don't second guess yourself. Because as women, we always second guess ourselves.
Oh my gosh.
We're like, I'm not gonna do this right. What about these kids? What about this? I promise, what they say, what's for you is for you.
Yes, that's right.
God is gonna make the way.
Room for your gifts.
Yeah.
Just keep going and keep pressing forward. And I got chills. Like, it's like you really just have to move forward and just don't worry about what anyone is saying to your left or your right. And just know that God is with you, and the only person you really need walking with you is God. And as long as you can walk proudly in that, you're gonna mess up. You're gonna have mistakes. We fail in life. That's part of life. But the problem in life is sometimes we let failure overcome our passion to do things. So don't walk in failure or fear.
Yeah, and like failure's not, failures is a horrible thing we think about, but like failure's just one thing that didn't work out. How many other
Right.
things are there to try? Like, come on.
I'm gonna fail a bunch of times.
Come on.
Yes.
Yeah, I
So
love that.
you didn't fail at this, and you didn't fail at motherhood, obviously, and you didn't fail in in the army and all of that. How has being a single mom impacted your life? Because you haven't failed yet.
Yeah.
I'm interested to know, how has running for office impacted your household?
As far as impacting my household, oh yeah, I've made plenty of mistakes. And sometimes I happen to have a son, So sometimes he'll kind of like, Mom, did you know you did this or did that? And I'm like, I did, but it's okay. It's okay. Guess what? I'll do it like this tomorrow. And he's like, okay. And doing that, because I've always been like this, so doing that, he's like, I can see him getting ready for something, probably playing basketball or whatever sport he's about to do, and he's like, I messed that up. But I'll go ahead and do it tomorrow.
Come on.
So it's like, whatever energy I have, it just rolls over on him.
Awesome.
And so it's good. But the impact with this campaign has been like, he came home to me this summer. And so this is high campaign and election season. Like, he came in June and election is August 27th. And I'm like, boom, boom, boom. He's exhausted. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
It's like we're going to bed at like 10:30 or 12 or 1. But that's normal in the mom household.
Yeah,
sure.
We're always
that's
going
not-
to
we
bed
get
late.
sleep.
If we get sleep.
Yeah, that's
So,
awesome. Your son is here. If that's not motivation, I don't know what
Yeah.
is.
Speaking of motivation,
There you go.
listen, we wish we can talk to Miss Johnson all day because there's so much more that she has to offer. But I'm sure you guys can go to her website at Marche Johnson on the Move.
Marche On The Move.
MarcheOnTheMove.com. But motivational wise, we're going to jump right into some tips because we give you guys tips each and every day. Each and every show, so that we can just keep you guys inspired, keep you encouraged. So I'm gonna toss those tips over to one of you two lovely ladies.
I can go.
You go, Jill?
All right, so what I'm hearing and all that you're sharing, which is phenomenal, by the way, such a leader for your child, I just hear we have so much to offer as moms, as women, as single parents, all that, like just following your heart. It just led you to something and you saw a need and some place for you to step into. So don't doubt your value, don't doubt what you have to offer. Sometimes we can say take just out of your language, be who you are and know that you're a contribution. So I say that, and wherever that shows up for you, whatever your heart is led to, go for it. Yeah, that's my tip.
Awesome. Nice. So my tip would be, because you just embody success, and I'm all about learning. When you know more, you do more. When you know better, then you do better. I encourage you to read one of my favorite books, and it's called How Successful People Grow. 15 tips to get ahead in life, and by my most favorite author, John Maxwell. And one of the things he said in there is that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Wow. Pick up that book. Those of you who believe that there's leadership in you, and even those of you that might doubt it, I promise you, read this book, How Successful People Grow, and you will be in a very different place 1 year from now.
It's awesome.
Yes.
Okay, how about you? You got a tip for them?
I do. I would say, as women, like we talked about, you kind of seem to, or we want to second guess things that we're doing in life, but don't. And always use your support group, whether it's a mom's group or that group of friends that you have, and we're all on different spectrums of life and we motivating each other. Always lean on each other. Going alone is a hard route and a hard road to go on and walk on. So walking alongside someone and always being a servant leader first, or service first.
Say that now.
Thinking about other people before we think of ourselves is always going to make life so much easier and so much fulfilling. So,
Ooh, that was a good one.
Yes.
But I'm gonna piggyback off of that and say being uncomfortable is your best talent. Get very familiar and very comfortable with being uncomfortable, because each time you're uncomfortable, it challenges you. It takes you to a whole different level. What you thought you knew or what you've been through, you have no idea until you're in that uncomfortable position and your back is against the wall, and now you have to come out fighting with something that you don't even know where it come from. Let that take over you. That's a whole different energy. That's a whole different vibe. But once you've mastered that, and once you've gotten to that point, you don't go back. It's not a double back process. So being able to adapt and move forward, and the only way to enjoy that level of success is getting through that discomfort. So again, being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
wow, that's good.
Wow.
That's good.
Well, there you have it, another great session. And you can always count on us to let you know that we are not going to allow you to stay in the comfort zone, because we know nothing grows in the comfort zone. Stay tuned next week. We would love to have you come and grow with us again.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning into The Single Mom Life, powered by the Single Mom Network. where dreams meet opportunity.